Hello students, this is Mrs. Sonal Patil. In our last class, we have completed the chapter Human Health and Disease. Today, we will begin with chapter 9, Strategies for Enhancement in Food Production. Weightage for this chapter is 8 marks. Questions carrying 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark or 5 marks may be asked from this particular chapter. So remember, the weightage of this chapter is 8 marks. To begin with the ever increasing population of the world, enhancement of food production is a major necessity. Biological principles as applied to animal husbandry and plant breeding have a major role in our efforts to increase food production. Several new techniques like embryo transfer technology and tissue culture techniques are going to play a vital role in further enhancing food production. Population increases in a geometric way, accompanied with shortage of food both from plant and animal sources. Our conventional method of food production is not sufficient to cater the needs of growing population. To meet the demand for food, several scientists all over the world are engaged in using biological principles for increasing food production. Several new techniques like tissue culture, as I told, tissue culture, embryo transfer technology, DNA recombinant technology are used to produce more food, disease resistant plants, animals, etc. Animal husbandry and plant breeding are the two important categories practiced to enhance food production. So these are the two important branches or categories which are very important for enhancement of food production. Firstly, animal husbandry, and the second one is the plant breeding. Coming to animal husbandry is the agricultural practice of breeding and raising livestock. So it is a branch of agriculture that deals with rearing, breeding, raising, carrying and disease control of livestock. Livestock here includes cows, buffalo, goat, sheep, camel, etc. Besides meat and milk, animals like horses, bulls, camels, deer, yaks, poultry, silkworms and bees are domesticated by humans to produce products like milk, meat, wool, silk, honey, etc. So here animal husbandry is nothing but it is an agricultural practice of breeding and raising livestock. As such, it is a vital skill for farmers and is as such much science as it is in art. Animal husbandry deals with the care and breeding of livestock, as we discussed, and extended it includes poultry farming and fisheries also. So here animal husbandry also includes poultry farming, apiculture and fisheries. Poultry is nothing but it is a class of domesticated fowl, means the birds used for the food and eggs. Fisheries is also important source of food which is concerned with catching, rearing and selling fish, crustaceans, mollusks, whereas apiculture or beekeeping is a source of honey, etc. It is estimated that more than 70% of the world livestock population is in India and China. However, it is surprising to note that the contribution to the farm produce is only 25%. That is, the productivity per unit is very low. Hence, in addition to conventional practices of animal breeding and care, newer technologies also have to be applied to achieve improvement in quality and productivity. So productivity should be increased. So as I told you, in addition to conventional practices of animal breeding and care, scientists have adopted new technologies to achieve improvement in quality and productivity. In India, scientists in Animal Husbandry Institute are busy in producing breeds that are well adjusted to the local climatic conditions with more milk and meat production. Recombinant DNA technology has been used to introduce genes to produce transgenic cattle. Transgenic cattle is nothing but it is a cattle with the transferred genes or the gene. Okay, so sheep, goat, pigs, etc. have been produced. The introduced genes expressed characters like increased growth, body weight, milk and meat production, improved and good quality wool production, etc. So this is about the animal husbandry, which includes dairy, poultry. Okay, so firstly we will discuss management of farms and farm animals. A professional approach to what have been traditional practices of farm management gives the much needed boost to our food production. Some of the management procedures employed in various animal farm systems are discussed below. Firstly, dairy farm management. It is defined as the scientific method of rearing cattle for the production and marketing of milk and its products for human consumption. So dairy is nothing but it is a scientific method which is, or dairying is the management of animals for milk and its products for human consumption. Cows and buffaloes are mainly reared under this. In India, two types of breeds are recognized in cattle, namely indigenous and exotic breeds. Now, what are these indigenous breeds? These indigenous breeds are also called as desi breeds. These are the breeds which are native to India or they belong naturally to the place of birth. So indigenous breed are those breeds that are native of India, that is they belong naturally to the place of birth. So where they are taken the birth, they are native to that, so they are called as indigenous breed. Example under cows like Red Sindhi, Sahiwal, Halikar, Amrit Mahal, all these are the indigenous breed, whereas in buffaloes the breeds like Mura, Surti, these are the indigenous breed, whereas exotic breeds are those breeds that have originated outside India and then imported to our country. So exotic breeds are those breeds that have originated outside India and then they are imported to our country. Now these exotic breeds here include, like you can give example of Holstein Friesian, Jersey, Red Dane, Brown Swiss, etc. Now these exotic breeds, as I told you, so there are two types, indigenous breeds and exotic breeds. Now here in these breeds also there are two types. There are milch breeds, there are three types: milch breeds, draft breeds and dual purpose breeds. Milch breeds are mainly milk yielders, draft breeds are mainly for field work, dual purpose breeds are used for milk and labor both. In dairy farming, let us now consider different kinds of products that can be made with milk. Cow's milk is being used extensively throughout the world for feeding infants and as a supplement to the diet of children and adults. Various milk products like curd, buttermilk, ghee, paneer, khoya, yogurt, cheese, etc. Cow's milk provides around 67 kilocalories of energy per 100 ml. So cow's milk will provide around 67 kilocalories of energy per 100 ml. Now here the photograph are being shown of the indigenous cows, exotic cows, and these are the breeds of cows, and these are the breeds of buffalo, Mura, Surti. So these are the examples of the different types of breeds in cattle. Now coming to next, very important is dairy farm management processes. It will be asked in the exam. Now dairy farm management processes, it depends upon the selection of good breeds having high milk yielding potential under climatic conditions of the area. To produce good yield, the cows must be housed well and fed properly. A good animal shelter is very important aspect of animal husbandry and should meet the following requirements. Firstly, proper sunlight should be there during day. It must be clean, must be dry, airy and well ventilated. Secondly, it should be spacious to provide enough space for each animal to stay comfortably and have arrangement for clean drinking water. Thirdly, it should have sloping floor for disposal of animal excreta. Regular brushing of animals to remove the dust and loose hairs and inspections by veterinary doctor to identify any health problem and earliest cure of that. So this is very important. A regular visit of the veterinary doctor is very important here. So regular visit should be there of the veterinary doctor. It is mandatory. Fifth is milking should be done in a clear yard. All persons concerned with milking and handling of milk must be in a good health and must follow stringent cleanliness and hygiene. Presently, these procedures have been mechanized, which reduces chance of direct contact of the produce with the handler. Sixth one, to maintain and increased milk yield, cattle should be given a balanced and good feed. Now, feed of the cattle should include, it must contain roughage and concentrate. Roughage contains large amount of fibers of hay, fodder, legumes, cowpea, etc. The concentrate is a mixture of cereals like maize, jawar, oat, barley, broken grams, cotton seeds, molasses, groundnut cake, moistened in water. These are rich in protein and other nutrients. In addition to these, the dairy animals should also be given minerals, hormones and antibiotics, which not only promote the growth of the animals and increase of yield of milk, but also protect them from diseases. So it is very important. So feed of the cattle is very important. So remember, dairy farm management processes are very important. Here in the photograph it has been shown about the dairy farm management. So these processes are to be followed, which are mentioned in the earlier slide. Coming to the next is the poultry farm management. Now what is this poultry? Poultry refers to practice of rearing of domesticated fowls, that is birds like chicken, ducks, turkeys and geese for providing meat and eggs for food. However, chicken forms an important source of the total poultry income of any country. As in dairy, management of poultry includes proper cleaning and regular disinfection of brooder houses, selection of disease-free and suitable breeds, and safe farm conditions like proper feed and water, hygiene and health care of birds. The major causes of diseases in the poultry birds are overcrowding, unhygienic conditions, dampness, insufficient light and dirty air. The poultry farm must extend in east-west direction so that enough sunshine is available in winter. It must be rat and snake proof because rats not only eat the eggs but also spread diseases in the poultry farms. The poultry houses should be kept lit at night to provide a photo period of about 14 to 18 hours to regulate growth of chicken and egg production. It should be kept at about 55 to 75 degree Fahrenheit as the chicken show maximum growth at this temperature. The floor of poultry should be covered with paddy, husk or sawdust. So these farm management processes have to be followed for the poultry. Some important indigenous and exotic breeds of fowls are: indigenous breeds include Asil, Chittagong, Gagus, Basara, Kadaknath, whereas here again some of the other exotic breeds here include Italian breed, American breeds, English breeds. So these are the exotic breeds. So in this fowls also there are indigenous breeds and there are exotic breeds. Poultry farm management also requires knowledge of different diseases, causative agents and their control. You might have seen in TV news bulletin or read newspaper report about bird flu. You might have read about bird flu, a viral disease outbreak in 2004 in 10 Asian countries and USA, which created a scar and drastically affected egg and chicken consumption, which caused huge loss to poultry owners. By destroying the infected birds, disinfecting the farmhouses, keeping it clean and administering vaccines and antibiotics, bird flu and other diseases can be prevented. So these measures are to be taken under the poultry farm. So some of the diseases I can quote over here, like Ranikhet disease, fowl cholera, candidiasis. So these are some of the diseases which are being caused to the chicken. So this is about the poultry farm management, and in the photograph here it has been shown different breeds of fowls are being shown, and then about the poultry farm the photograph is. So here today we will stop with this. We have stopped up till poultry farm management. So today we studied about the dairy farm management and poultry farm management. In the next class we will study about a very important concept, that is animal breeding. For today we will stop and will begin with the next class with animal breeding. Thank you.